The radio crackled. Enemy jets inbound, no cover. Marine Sergeant Velez clenched his fists. Above him, a lone F-16 streaked across the sky. Inside the cockpit, Lieutenant Jennifer Rook, Shepard, took a sharp breath. 30 lives depended on her. And she'd never fired a real shot. The desert sun baked the tarmac as Lieutenant Jennifer Rook, Shepard, climbed out of her F-16, her flight suit damp with sweat. The engine's dying whine echoed across the empty runway. She yanked off her helmet, the weight of the failed exercise pressing harder than the heat. Dead last again, she muttered. Across the ramp, a group of pilots laughed, their voices carrying. One of them, Captain Riker, her so-called instructor, turned and gave her a slow clap. Nice landing, Rook. If you were aiming for the dirt. Jennifer wiped grease from her gloves, forcing her voice steady. Turbulence on final. Wind shear warning lit up. Your dad ever blame the wind? Riker cut in. He tossed a file onto the wing of her jet, her father's old mission logs. Colonel Reaper Shepard. 12 confirmed kills. Flew a crippled F for home on one engine. And here's you, rattled by a training sortie. Jennifer's jaw tightened. She could still hear her father's voice from last night's call. Stop trying to be me. Fly your own damn jet. She grabbed the file. I'll debrief myself. Riker smirked. Save the pride for when you earn it. The hangar was quiet except for the hum of a fuel truck outside. Jennifer flipped through the logs, her father's neat handwriting detailing every move, every mistake. A coffee stain marked the page from his infamous 91 dogfight, the one that made him a legend. Her phone buzzed. A text from her sister, Mom's birthday dinner. You in? Jennifer thumbed a reply. Duty. She knew what that meant. Another empty chair at the table. Another, she's just like James sigh from her mom. A mechanic whistled as he walked past, nodding at her jet. Heard you cooked the brakes again. They'll live, she said. Not what Riker's saying. He wiped his hands on a rag. Word is he's benching you. Safety risk. Jennifer stared at her reflection in the jet's canopy smudged, warped. Safety risk. The same thing they'd said about her dad. The base alarm blared. Scramble. Scramble. A voice crackled over the PA, Marine Recon Team under fire, requesting immediate air support. Jennifer was already running. Riker's voice chased her. Shepard, stand down. You're not cleared. She didn't stop. The Marines needed a pilot. And for once, she was the only one left. Jennifer sprinted across the tarmac, her boots pounding against hot concrete. The alert siren wailed overhead, mixing with the frantic shouts of ground crew. A fuel truck screeched to a halt in front of her, blocking her path. Move, she barked, dodging around it. The nearest F-16 sat fueled and armed, its canopy already open. A crew chief waved her over, his face tight. Birds hot, Lieutenant. Flight lead aborted, hydraulic failure. Jennifer hauled herself into the cockpit, hands moving on instinct. Straps. Oxygen mask. Systems check. Who else is up? She demanded. The chief shook his head. Just you. Rest are still refueling. A voice crackled in her headset control. Rook, this is Tower. Acknowledge scramble order. Jennifer flicked switches, her heart hammering. Acknowledged. What's the sitrep? Marine Recon Team ambushed 20 clicks north of LZ Blue. Enemy air inbound. You're their only cover. The engine roared to life beneath her. Through the canopy, she saw Riker running toward her, waving his arms. His shouts were lost in the thunder of jet noise. The chief slapped the canopy frame. Go save some lives, Lieutenant. Jennifer gave him a sharp nod and sealed the cockpit. The F-16 leapt into the sky, pressing her back into the seat. Below, the base shrank to a speck in the desert. The radio buzzed with panicked chatter. Taking heavy fire. Where's our damn air support? A new voice, calm but strained. This is Sierra 17. 2 fast movers approaching from east. Estimate 3 minutes to impact. Jennifer's throat went dry. Sierra 17, the Marines. She pushed the throttle forward. Sierra 17, this is Rook. Inbound. A pause. Then, skeptical, single ship. Only one you've got. Another voice cut in, male, older. Christ. They sent a rookie. Jennifer's grip tightened on the stick. The desert blurred beneath her. ETA 90 seconds. Mark your position. Smoke out. Ahead, a thin gray plume rose from the rocky terrain. Jennifer's radar pinged 2 blips streaking toward the smoke. Enemy jets. Her mouth went dry. She'd never fired a missile outside the range. Never seen a real bandit. The radio crackled again. Rook, you still there? Jennifer swallowed. Coming in hot. Her targeting system chirped, locking onto the first enemy jet. A warning flashed. Missile ready. Somewhere below, 30 Marines were counting on her. And she was out of time to be scared. The enemy jet streaked toward the smoke plume like hawks diving for prey. Jennifer's finger hovered over the missile trigger as her targeting system beeped insistently. The range counter ticked down 10 miles. 8. Come on, lock, she muttered, willing the system faster. At 6 miles, the tone turned solid. She squeezed the trigger. Fox 2. The missile rocketed away, trailing white smoke. Jennifer instinctively jerked the stick left, braking hard as the enemy jet banked sharply. Missile away. Splash 1. The Marine's voice exploded through her headset. A fireball bloomed in the distance. The second enemy jet peeled off, climbing frantically. Jennifer's stomach lurched. She'd actually hit one. Holy shit, Rook. The Marine sounded almost giddy. You got him. Jennifer didn't answer. Her hands shook as she scanned for the surviving jet. The radar warning receiver suddenly screamed at her. A missile lock. Incoming. Brake right. She yanked the stick hard, flares spitting from her plane as the enemy missile streaked past. The G-forces crushed her into the seat, vision tunneling. Where is he? She gasped. 3 o'clock high. Coming around for another pass. Jennifer rolled inverted, pulling through into a gut-wrenching dive. The canyon walls rushed up at her. At the last second, she leveled out, skimming just above the rocks. The radio crackled. You trying to give me a heart attack, fly girl? Jennifer's breath came in short bursts. Working on it. She spotted the enemy jet banking above her, its pilot clearly searching. Jennifer stayed low, using the terrain as cover. Her mouth tasted like copper. All right, listen close, the Marine said, voice suddenly serious. When you pop up behind that ridge, you'll have about 3 seconds before he... I know, Jennifer snapped. Then immediately regretted it. A beat of silence. Then, yeah, guess you do. The enemy jet passed overhead unaware. Jennifer pulled up sharply, her nose aligning perfectly with the bandit's tailpipe. The lock tone screamed in her ears. Fox 2. The missile tore the enemy jet in half. For a moment, there was only static. Then the Marines erupted in cheers. Jennifer just sat there, hands locked on the controls, staring at the burning wreckage. She'd done it. The celebration died instantly when a new voice cut through the radio, cold, accented. American pilot. That was adequate. Jennifer's blood ran cold. Someone new was watching. And he didn't sound impressed. The voice slithered through Jennifer's headset like oil on water. American pilot. That was adequate. Jennifer's thumb instinctively flicked the weapons switch to active. Her eyes darted across empty sky. Who the hell is this? Laughter crackled in response. Major Dmitry Petrov. But you may call me Gargoyle. A shadow passed overhead. Jennifer craned her neck to see a sleek Su-35 circling high above, its twin tails cutting through the clouds like knives. It moved differently than the others, smooth, unhurried. Predatory. The Marine's voice cut in, tight with tension. Rook, that's no rookie. Get out of there. Jennifer's mouth went dry. She knew that call sign. NATO intelligence briefings had pages on Petrov, a mercenary ace with 14 confirmed kills. I see you recognize me, Petrov purred. Good. This will be more interesting. Her radar warning receiver suddenly screamed. Missile lock. Jennifer jammed the stick forward, diving toward the canyon as flares spat from her wings. The missile detonated behind her with a concussive whump. First lesson, Petrov continued, as casually as someone discussing the weather. Never celebrate too soon. Jennifer's fingers trembled on the throttle. She'd burned half her missiles, and this guy was playing with her. You fly like your father, Petrov mused. All instinct, no discipline. That stung. Jennifer's grip tightened. You don't know my father. I shot his wingman down in 99. A pause. He screamed quite poetically as he burned. The Marine's voice cut through the taunts. Rook, break north. We've got SAM coverage there. Petrov chuckled. Run if you wish. It will only delay the inevitable. Jennifer's eyes flicked to her fuel gauge dwindling fast. 1 missile left. No wingman. And 30 Marines depending on her. Somewhere above, Gargoyle circled, waiting. The radio crackled again, but this time it was Sergeant Velez. Listen, kid, I got an idea. But you're gonna hate it. Jennifer exhaled sharply. Right now? I'll take anything. Velez's reply came through gritted teeth, then get ready to fly blind. Jennifer's knuckles whitened around the stick. Fly blind? Explain. Fast. Static hissed before Velez's voice came through, calm as a man ordering coffee. See that river canyon at your 2 o'clock? Dive into it. Jennifer banked hard, spotting the jagged fissure cutting through the desert. It was barely wider than her wingspan. You're joking. Nope. Gargoyle's radar can't track you down there. A bullet ricocheted loudly over his radio. Move your ass, Lieutenant. Jennifer swallowed and nosed down. The canyon walls rushed up, reddish rock blurring on either side. Her altitude alarm shrieked. Eyes up, Rook, Velez said. First bend's coming left. She yanked the stick, her wingtip nearly scraping stone. G-forces pressed her into the seat. Above, the Su-35's shadow passed over the canyon like a shark circling. He's turning wide, Velez reported. Next right in 800 yards. Jennifer's breath came in short bursts. How the hell are you seeing this? Binoculars and a prayer. Another gunshot popped over comms. Shut up and bank right. She obeyed. The canyon twisted like a snake. Her radar screen showed nothing but noise. Petrov's jamming was frying her systems. Coming up on a fork, Velez warned. Take the skinny left pass. That's not a pass, it's a damn crack. You want to live or argue? Jennifer gritted her teeth and rolled left. The F-16's wings barely cleared the narrowing walls. Rocks tumbled from her jet wash. Above them, Petrov's voice slithered through the static. Hiding is not very heroic, little bird. Velez ignored him. Straight shot for 2 miles. Then pop up hard when I say. Jennifer's thumb hovered over her last missile button. What's the play? Surprise a bastard. The canyon walls began to rise. Jennifer's heartbeat pounded in her ears. Ready, Velez said. Petrov's Su-35 appeared ahead, cruising lazily at the canyon's mouth. Now, Jennifer punched the throttle and yanked back on the stick. Her F-16 roared upward like a bullet from a gun straight into Gargoyle's blind spot. The missile lock tone screamed in her ears. Petrov's jet filled her targeting display. Fox 2, she shouted. Then everything went wrong. The missile streaked away, then sputtered. Jennifer's stomach dropped. Malfunction. Malfunction. Petrov's Su-35 banked hard, the dud missile tumbling harmlessly past. His laughter filled her headset. American quality control. Velez's voice cut through. Rook, status. Jennifer scanned the damage panel. Left engines hit. Hydraulics failing. The stick jerked in her hand like a living thing. Warning lights painted the cockpit red. Petrov's jet turned back toward her, guns glinting in the sun. Eject, Velez ordered. Negative. Jennifer wrestled with the controls. The altimeter spun wildly, 3,000 feet and dropping fast. I can still. You're dead in the air. A canyon wall loomed ahead. Jennifer pulled up desperately. The F-16 groaned, metal screaming. She cleared the ridge by inches. Petrov followed effortlessly. This ends now. Jennifer's mind raced. No missiles. One engine. Then she saw it, the wreckage of the first Su-35 she'd shot down, smoking in the valley below. An idea. A terrible one. Sarge, she panted, that SAM battery still active? A pause. Yeah. Why? Jennifer turned toward the wreckage. Tell them to light me up. What? Just do it. The radar warning screamed, friendly lock. Jennifer dove toward the burning wreck as the SAM battery fired. A missile streaked toward her. Petrov took the bait. He rolled in behind her, guns ready. At the last second, Jennifer yanked the stick left. The SAM missile shot past her straight at Petrov. He banked hard, but too late. The missile clipped his tail. Metal shredded. The Su-35 spun wildly, trailing smoke. Jennifer's damaged F-16 shuddered. Warning lights flashed, fuel LOW. Engine failure. Valessa's voice was tight. Rook, you got him. Now get out of there. The stick went slack in her hands. The desert rushed up to meet her. Jennifer grabbed the ejection handle. Somewhere below, Petrov's parachute bloomed white against the smoke. Her last thought before pulling the ring, he's alive. Then everything went black. The world exploded in noise and pain. Jennifer's body snapped forward against the harness as the ejection seat blasted through the canopy. A deafening roar filled her ears, then sudden silence as the rocket motor burned out. Wind screamed past her tumbling body. The desert spun in her vision, blue sky, brown earth, smoke trails crisscrossing like spiderwebs. Her parachute jerked open with a bone-rattling snap. Rook. Status. Valessa's voice crackled in her earpiece. Jennifer gasped for air, her ribs on fire. Down. I'm down. The ground rushed up too fast. She hit hard, rolling across rocky dirt. Pain shot through her left ankle. The parachute caught the wind, dragging her another 20 feet before she could release the harness. Silence. Then bootsteps. Jennifer fumbled for her sidearm. Easy, Lieutenant. Valesse loomed over her, his face streaked with dirt and sweat. Behind him, 2 Marines covered the smoking wreck of her F-16 with rifles raised. Jennifer tried to stand. Her ankle gave out. Valesse caught her arm. Petrov, she croaked. Valesse jerked his chin east. Parachute landed about a click that way. We'll find him. Jennifer limped toward her burning jet. The once sleek fighter lay broken, flames licking at the Air Force insignia. She stared at the wreckage, her throat tight. One of the Marines whistled. You flew that thing? Valesse smacked the man's helmet. Stow it, Diaz. He turned to Jennifer, studying her face. You good to move? Jennifer nodded, though every muscle screamed. She reached into the wreckage, yanking free her father's dog tags from the instrument panel. The metal burned her fingers. A radio crackled to life. Sierra 17, this is Rescue Hawk. 5 mics out. Valesse keyed his mic, Roger, Hawk. Package is secure. He glanced at Jennifer. Package looks like hell. Jennifer pocketed the dog tags. Somewhere out there, Petrov was watching. She could feel it. The whump-whump of approaching helicopters grew louder. Valesse leaned in. Command's gonna have questions. Jennifer wiped soot from her face. Yeah, you did good, kid. The words should have meant something. But all Jennifer could see was the burning wreck of her jet and the empty horizon where Petrov had disappeared. The debriefing room smelled like stale coffee and sweat. Jennifer sat ramrod straight in her stained flight suit, her swollen ankle propped on a chair. The overhead fluorescence buzzed. Across the table, Colonel Harris flipped through her file like it offended him. Let me get this straight, Lieutenant. You disobeyed a direct order to stand down. Lost a $60 million aircraft. And your solution to being outgunned was to lure a SAM missile at yourself. Jennifer kept her voice level. Sir, with respect, it worked. Harris's pen snapped. That's not how we operate. The door banged open. Valesse marched in, still in full combat gear, followed by 3 grimy Marines. Harris stood. Sergeant, this is a closed. With all due respect, sir, Valesse interrupted, my men have something to say. A lanky corporal stepped forward, his arm in a sling. That pilot saved 30 lives today, Colonel. Another Marine, Diaz, slapped a smoke-stained map on the table. We marked every piece of wreckage. 2 confirmed enemy kills. 3rd one's running scared. Harris's face turned red. This isn't a democracy, Sergeant. Valesse didn't blink. No, sir. But it's sure as hell not a witch hunt either. Jennifer watched the standoff, her fingers tracing the dog tags in her pocket. She'd expected rage, but the Marine's defiance burned hotter than any reprimand. A new voice cut through. At ease, gentlemen. General Stone, a grizzled Vietnam vet with a chest full of ribbons, filled the doorway. His eyes locked onto Jennifer. Lieutenant, walk with me. The tarmac air smelled like jet fuel and rain. Stone stopped beside a parked F-16, its fresh paint gleaming. Your father once told me, Stone said, that good pilots follow orders. Great pilots know when to break them. He tossed her a set of silver wings, her father's. Reaper would have done the same damn thing today. Jennifer caught them, the metal cool in her palm. Does that mean I'm not grounded, sir? Stone snorted. Hell no. You're getting a week's desk duty and a formal reprimand. He turned to leave, then paused. Oh, and Shepard? Sir, change your call sign. Jennifer limped toward the barracks, the wings heavy in her hand. Behind her, a shadow moved near the hangars, a figure in a flight suit that didn't quite fit. Then it was gone. But she'd seen the limp. Petrov. Jennifer found Velez in the mess hall, cleaning his rifle at a corner table. She dropped into the seat across from him, sliding a coffee his way. Heard the news? She asked. Velez didn't look up. That you're officially the dumbest pilot who ever lived? Yeah, it's all over base. Jennifer smirked and tossed her father's wings onto the table between them. The silver gleamed under the fluorescent lights. Velez finally glanced up, raising an eyebrow. Stone gave you those? Told me to pick a new call sign. A slow grin spread across Velez's face. He reached into his vest pocket and slid something across the table, a worn chess piece. The Black Queen. Found this in Petrov's crash site, he said. Figured you earned it. Jennifer picked it up, the smooth wood warm from his pocket. Outside, an F-16 roared down the runway. Queen's a big title, she said quietly. Velez snorted. You took on Gargoyle with half a jet and no ammo. I'd say you own it. He stood, slinging his rifle. Just don't let it go to your head, Your Majesty. Jennifer pocketed the chess piece as Velez walked away. The mess hall chatter faded around her. For the first time in years, the weight of her father's legacy didn't crush her, it fit. She pulled out her phone and typed a text to her sister. Tell Mom I'll be there for dinner. The base lights flickered as Jennifer stepped outside. Movement near the fuel trucks caught her eye, a limping figure in a mechanic's coveralls, watching her. Their eyes met. Petrov smiled, then vanished into the shadows. Jennifer's hand went to the queen in her pocket. This wasn't over. Jennifer's fingers closed around the chess piece in her pocket as she stared at the spot where Petrov had stood. The night air smelled of oil and desert dust. A distant hum of engines, the ever-present heartbeat of the base, filled the silence. She pulled out her phone and dialed Velez. Yeah. His voice was rough with sleep. He's here. A pause. Then sheets rustled. Where? Saw him near the fuel depot. Dressed as a mechanic. Velez exhaled sharply. Stay put. I'll alert security. No. Jennifer's grip tightened on the phone. He wanted me to see him. This isn't an attack. It's a message. Static hissed between them. Somewhere in the distance, a truck engine coughed to life. What kind of message? Velez finally asked. Jennifer turned toward the flight line, where her new F-16 sat gleaming under the work lights. That this isn't over. The next morning, Jennifer stood at attention as General Stone pinned the Distinguished Flying Cross to her chest. The ceremony was short, the audience small, just her squadron, a handful of Marines, and a scowling Colonel Harris. Lieutenant Shepard, Stone announced, from this day forward, you will answer to call sign Queen. A few whoops broke out from the Marines. Jennifer allowed herself a small smile. As the crowd dispersed, Stone leaned close. Petrov's body was never found. Jennifer met his gaze. I know. Stone studied her face, then nodded once. Keep your head on a swivel, Queen. That evening, Jennifer sat in her father's old study, the Black Queen chess piece resting beside his flight logs. The TV droned in the background, a news report about increased enemy air activity near the border. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Check your 6, Queen. Jennifer set the phone down slowly. Outside, a jet screamed across the darkening sky. She picked up the chess piece and placed it deliberately on the board, right beside the White King. Game on. Loved this high-flying adventure? Smash that like button and subscribe, because every hero's journey needs wingmen like you.